video. So what I'm going to do, or what I have done, I should say, is I asked ChatGPT to create a weekly schedule for myself, at least for this upcoming week. If you have seen a couple of my videos beforehand, y'all know that I have talked about my struggle with mental fatigue and like decision making and like basically ADHD paralysis. So I thought, you know, everybody's using ChatGPT to create a weekly, you know, workout routine or a grocery list or even like a morning routine or like a weekly schedule. So why not, right? I can list my non-negotiables essentially and like what I want to do, and it can do that for me. So that's already a win. So I'm gonna go ahead and put like my screen recording here of what I had listed. So that's exactly what I did. I downloaded the ChatGPT app, listed what my work schedule was, what I would like to do for like school content and life, you know, different things that are happening throughout the week, and I wanted to plug it in basically. You know, in my last video, this one, I had talked about how I have a lot of things that I want to do and I just feel like I don't have a lot of time. So something that I had to do is kind of like sit back and like realize how much time I have that I'm not utilizing, whether it's because of literally mental fatigue that I'm just not utilizing my hours correctly, or as you know, y'all may know, being the procrastinator, you know, that could be a part of it. So I just need to kind of do a time audit. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to implement ChatGPT's schedule that it laid out for me. I'm going to try my best to follow that for a full week. At the end of the week, I'm going to see what I had actually accomplished, what I had done, if it makes sense for my weekly routine, right? And just kind of how I feel at the end of the week. If I feel like, no, obviously, like I woke up at 6:10 in the morning, had to rush out the door to get my kiddo, you know, off to wherever he's gonna go. Or if I'm just brain rotting in my bed and watching my trash shows, which, you know, we all might know that's probably gonna happen. But, you know, maybe I might surprise myself and save that for a different day on a different hour, right? So I'm just gonna try to see how well I can stick to that routine, plug in my workouts. I don't know if I want to do the whole meal planning thing part 2. I feel like that might just be a little overload, and I already kind of feel like that might be already overloading me, but you know, we'll kind of see when we get there, right? So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and turn around and we're going to plug in the schedule into my Apple Calendar, and that's what I use specifically. I do have a couple of calendars that I do use, you know, to plan out things. So we're just going to go ahead and turn around now and we'll get going. I'm going to try to see if I can do a screen recording on my actual computer and have y'all playing, and I'm just hopefully going to be like in a bubble, like talking down at the bottom of the screen. So we'll see if I can figure that out. Okay, y'all don't come for me in the comments because I am going to use the schedule that ChatGPT did lay out, but I'm going to use that as a baseline and kind of tweaking it now. So I had done 2 different versions, and I thought I saved the one that I felt would be more suitable rather than the other one. I didn't actually make a ChatGPT account and anything like that, so I can't see like what my past chat history was. So the only screen recording that I have is the one, like the very first option, because I did make I did make a second one that seemed more reasonable with the time frames, and I thought I screen recorded that, but I didn't. So I am going to use this as an outline, but what I'm going to do on here is tailor it to how the second one was more reasonable with my time. So yes, it's still a ChatGPT does my weekly routine type video. It's just this one was not the one I wanted to do. So I'm still gonna stick to it, and I kind of remember like pretty much more or less of like what the second one was. So that's what I'm gonna plug into my calendar, not the actual. And I keep looking down here because I have the screen recording on my phone of the first one, so that way I can plug it into here. But you know, cool. Okay, so hopefully I'm editing this correctly and y'all can like actually see my screen, on here. So I use Apple Calendar for right now. I have been trying really hard to find a planner piece. I used to be a hardcore paper planner, like every year get a whole new one. I had all kinds of stickers. I had kind of all like stationery, and it did work with me for a while, but I felt like I just really couldn't stick to it. And I would focus so hard on like, oh man, like, you know what, the layout didn't originally work with how I wanted it to work. So I found a love with digital planning, but that was more of like good notes and using like a planner that had like templates and everything, again with the stickers and all that stuff. And I used it for some time and used it for a bit, but I don't know if it's just because the season of life just didn't allow me to stick to it, or I couldn't find a purpose to really use it. Whether, I know like when I'm out of school, I don't find myself really needing for a calendar of what I'm trying to say, or you know, at least back then. But now that my son is older, we're going to more events, my schooling has kind of gotten a little bit more busy, I guess, as you can say, and I'm trying to be like really disciplined on my schooling. So like I feel like now with putting it into a calendar, it should work. Of course, with understanding now that I have ADHD and my depression and my anxiety, they all kind of tied in together with the whole mental fatigue of why I stopped a lot of planning. So I've been using, before I would like kind of like, oh man, I like really need this planner, and I would get like FOMO because I love looking at like different planner reviews and all kinds of stuff, and I would be like, I need this planner, or like I need this paper planner, I need to customize this digital planner on like I even have like a Google Sheets planner that I bought from Etsy, which is, it's still great, but I don't know, I'm trying to like dumb it down essentially for myself. What I like to do is I like to add my reminders to my Apple Calendar, and I don't really use like Google Calendar or anything like Google related, but well, I do use Google Sheets, so I take that back. What we're going to do is I'm going to input technically the second schedule that ChatGPT had given me, and we're going to plug that into the calendar. So I'm going to list out the different calendars that I have and like basically what the purpose of them is. So of course, events and B-dates, that's pretty self-explanatory. I share this calendar with my husband with his Apple Calendar, so that way if he gets told of an event, he can put it in, and same thing, with me. Majority of the time it's me, because he always forgets. And then I just renamed this one, the Tay Tasks one. That is just specifically me. Anything that has to relate to me, I kind of used to use it as a catch-all for my things, but then I kind of realized I needed them a little bit more outlined. So I just named it Tay Tasks as something that I need to specifically do at that specific time. But what I'm going to, so these two calendars, the Tay Task and the schedule ones, the schedule is obviously going to be like the bigger chunk of my day, especially during the work week, because that is my schedule. Of course, content is the 1 hour that I told ChatGPT of like what I want to do. At least have 30 minutes to an hour to at least do something per day. School is my schooling specifically, like, so of when I'm setting aside time to do schoolwork. Of course, junior related, self-explanatory again, and that is a calendar that I do share with my husband, so that can be like his doctor's appointments, like right now I specifically use it for karate, and then our paydays, my husband, just so that way I can see, because I do budget on Wednesday specifically. And of course I made my own specific schedule, or my own specific calendar for when I'm in office and when I'm working from home, because that tells me like how I need to plan my day and how to plan my morning, because like we all know, when my work from home days are, I like to just roll out of bed and just do that and start working. And then of course in office days it takes me a little bit longer to get my morning going. So, and then I do have my own appointments that again, self-explanatory. It's like specifically just for my doctor's appointments or anything that I'm specifically doing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and plug everything in, and we'll go from there. I'm gonna just try to do like a speed time lapse on this, and we can talk about it when I come back. But pause, interruption. What I do really like about the Apple calendars is I can add a reminder because I use those all the time. If I am thinking of something in that moment, I will set a reminder for myself of like, hey, check how much food we have, check what's in the pantry to see, what we need to add to the grocery list. If I have that thought in my head at that moment in time, I will put that into my reminders to make sure, and I'll set it for a time of like in the evening when I know I'm going to be like standing in the kitchen. So that way I can like update, my grocery list or something. Or if I have a thought of like, oh, I need to go call like my schooling to see like what's going on with like my financial aid or something like that, then I'll put like in a time frame, like I know I'm going to be free for a little bit, then call the financial aid office. I just had to throw that little tidbit in because like that is so helpful for me as an ADHD girly who just forgets absolutely everything that just gets thrown out of my brain. It really helps me a lot to be able to plug that in all at the same time. I'm gonna try to wake up at 5 a.m. I'm gonna try to wake up at 5 a.m., get my workouts in, because I feel like that is the only time I'm gonna actually be able to do any type of workout, because pretty much like specifically on karate days too, that is a lot different, because pretty much by the end of the night it's like I'm already tired, Junior's tired, like let's shower, get into bed basically. So I don't want to try to put too much on my plate for karate nights, but since I'm having school that's starting on Monday, I have no choice too. So I do want to try to work out at least 3 or 4 times a week. So I'm going to try to plug that in for the rest of the week and kind of see how that is. Again, I'm going to be, I don't know what type of workouts I want to do, because I'm going to go back to my grounds programs because obviously I'm paying for it, but also I just like them. But trying to work out in the morning in the garage, trying to like go all the way down there is a hassle, but in all honesty, I'm just going to do it because I want to stick to a program. Already having a program doesn't make me, I don't have to decide what I'm going to be doing because it's already planned out for me and I just need to do it. And usually like they do have like shorter programs on there, like that can be like 20 to 30 minutes, and I may adjust that at some point, but for right now I want to stick with the actual program because those ones usually take me about 45 to an hour, and that's a perfect window of time to do them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in the rest of the week and adjust some of the time frames on non-karate days. I just finished the work week, and you will notice that on Friday I did change the workout time and like wake up time, because I know myself well enough that I'm going to sleep in on a Friday. I already know that. And I did kind of tell like ChatGPT to on the weekends and like Friday are more lenient, so it did kind of like work out like that way. I'm so like upset with myself that I didn't screen record or like save that specific part. So I guess I gotta sign up if I'm gonna continue using ChatGPT. Anyways, so I'm just gonna go quickly down. Nothing really has changed besides basically waking up like an hour later on Friday. I'm still going to try to work out. That's 5 days a week, so we'll see if that happens. If not, I'm not gonna be like all too hard on myself. It's just something I can plan for, because I didn't really put anything down for here after work of like during the free time, dinner and wash up. We typically clean on like Sundays anyways, so like during the week it's just really laundry and stuff, so like I can kind of plug that in, which I might do on my actual like tasks reminder. I'm not gonna do that right now, and not right now in this video, because my brain can't like really think of that right now until like it actually happens. So I'm filming this on a Sunday, so I'm already gonna kind of be doing cleaning and picking up anyways, so might not even need to plug anything in there, but I digress. Anyways, so what I'm gonna also try to do and start like with Junior is that we want to go like outside and walk around, or I can work with him on his karate like at home. Just something to keep him active, when after summer school and stuff. So I want to try to implement that and seeing. But I know a big focus for me, and something I'm gonna try to like remember and like realize is like I might need to adjust this even midweek, and if I do, I'll let y'all know. But math for me is not a strong suit, and I struggle with math a lot. So I know I'm already gonna be kind of like burnt out during the day. So even though putting math my math class, and if I haven't said, sorry, I'm taking a math class this summer, then I'm doing that towards the end of the night. So I might need to give myself a little bit more time with that specifically, and like remove like the editing part or something like that, and or because I'm in no way I'm doing math in the morning, absolutely no way. So ChatGPT told me to do that like for an hour in the morning or like 30 minutes. I was like, I'm barely gonna understand the concept for freaking 30 minutes. Like, what do you mean? So I'm just going to plug this in, keep it how it is now, and if I need to adjust during the week that like is actually going to be ideally for me, then I will. But for, like I said, for the most part, I'm going to try to stick to at least this Monday through Friday, and we'll see. I think it's doable. Maybe the 5 workouts might be a stretch, but I'm gonna try to be consistent with it, consistent with trying to wake up. I need to set my alarms to where I can actually hear them. But I think this is a good starting point. I think. So we'll see. I think, like I said, I think this is a good starting point. So I'll just leave it here before my brain starts kind of going all into like, well, what if you don't type deal. So I'm just gonna leave it, and we'll see how the rest of the week is. So I hopefully edited all of this correctly, and I hope y'all could actually understand anything and see what I'm doing. So this is going to be, you know, I don't know exactly when this video is going to come up, but like I said, this is just going to be for this specific work week that I'm planning, because this month of June is just totally different than outside my normal week or month. So July is going to look a lot different. So that's why I'm taking it week by week to just kind of slowly start implementing certain like habits, I guess, as you can say. So as I get along, or, you know, as I get along through planning this week and hopefully sticking to it, then maybe I can kind of like start putting in more of like my habits in, which I mean kind of already are going to be in here anyways. They're just not outlined on the specific calendar. But anyways, before I continue to start blabbing and everything like that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you understood it, and I hope you are going to stay here to see more content, because this is my life and this is what we're trying to do and what we're attempting to plan. Like I had mentioned like in some other videos, like I can be a great planner, but maybe not a really good part at the execution part. But on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys aren't already following me on my socials, definitely go ahead and do that. Here they are. But thank you again for all the love and support. If you made it to the end of this video and you're not just screaming at me through your computer or your TV or whatever, how you're watching this, then definitely go ahead and put a little pen emoji maybe, and then like a heart, like a pink heart, and, you know, list off how you like to plan. Are you a paper planner? Are you a digital person? Do you just write one big checklist or something like that? Because in all honesty, I might have to go back to the basics and do that, but we're gonna try this first, okay? But I thank you guys again for watching, and definitely go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe while y'all are here. It helps me out. But thank you so much, and I hope to see y'all in the next one. Bye guys.